creativity there with Sarah. So it's absolutely ideal that Greta is going to be sharing her ways of unblocking creativity. Greta has a degree in psychology and is a published author, but is focusing a lot on creativity. And sometimes we can get a little bit stuck, can't we? Either with our content or how we can take product to market or how to innovate. And some of these creativity tips actually help us do all of those things. So Greta, over to you.
Hi, thank you so much, Julia. It's wonderful to be here. So I'm going to share some tips about unblocking your creativity, as you just said, but I just kind of want to put it into context as to why I had to do this for myself in the first place. And this is going back 20 years when it was my second magazine job as a features writer at one of the top selling weekly magazines in the UK. So this was the dream job. I was going out doing interviews, like talking to celebrities, doing lots of really amazing things. But actually getting the writing done was done under a lot of stress and pressure. And I had this kind of writing personality where I would leave everything to the last minute and only be able to get my writing done under that kind of very forceful way. And of course, I didn't work that well in the magazine where you have these really tight deadlines. And there was one day when I was sort of distracted by something else that was completely not related to work. And I was thinking, well, how am I going to get my piece done today? I have to, submit this piece by the deadline this afternoon. And I was able to access this other part of my creativity to go into a different zone, and it really flowed and it was really easy. And I realized that actually there is a way to create and be in that flow. And for me, for my lifestyle, I decided to go freelance as a journalist, and I kind of went unblocking my creativity. And there were two things that I did, which lead into my 3 points. The first thing I did was train at drama school, and I trained at drama school evenings and weekends while working freelance. And it was all about very much getting in the body, about moving. And, the teacher would say, take your shoes off, take your heels off. You have to be grounded and feel yourself in order to create and be creative. And the second thing I did was I studied lyric writing at Berklee College of Music. And we learned a technique there called object writing, where you're focusing on your senses. And that enabled me to get past all the sort of fear mindset that I was running while I was had been working in writing. And that enabled me to create song lyrics really freely and easily. And this is how I came to this work, by teaching, first of all, students all these unblocking techniques I'd learned from lyric writing and everything I'd learned. And that's my work today, teaching people how to unblock. And so my 3 tips. So the first thing you can do if you are feeling blocked and stifled is to understand that your creativity does need a container. So for me, that's writing. And I really highly recommend implementing some kind of writing practice. And the first tip is to understand that there are different parts of the body and brain that you can communicate from. So my model is the communication pyramid, where you have at the top you have the mind. And so for writing, that would be things like your grammar rules, your hacks, your structure, all those kind of things you've been taught at school. Second down, you have the body, and that's actual practical techniques. Sort of like if you went on a writing course, you'd learn sort of body techniques. And underneath that, you have the heart. That's the stories you tell, your feelings, what your unique message is, what you really communicate. Underneath that, you have the soul. That's why you're writing what you're writing, what it means to you. And under that is your voice. And it's really important to understand that when you're stuck in the mind, it's really, really hard to create. And so you want to get into that heart space. And some really quick ways to get into the heart space are to move your body, to get in the body. So things like, I always tell my clients to make a big spaghetti bolognese, chop up vegetables, things that get you moving, things that get you sweating, things like driving, showering. And so that this moves on to the second tip that I have, is a really simple thing you can do to implement for you and your business as a business owner is to start walking and writing. So you want to be getting out of the mind as much as possible, and to understand that your writing and creativity comes from the body. And as you're walking and moving and striding out in the world, that allows your thoughts to bubble down more into the body and to flow a bit more easily. So something you can do is I recommend going for like a 15-minute walk, taking your smartphone or taking a notebook and actually focusing on your senses. Focus on what you can see, what you can hear, what you can touch. If you're drinking something or eating something, what you taste, how your body feels and the actual movement that you're making. And actually just focus, look around and write whatever comes into your head. Anything at all, no matter how small or big, write down whatever you're thinking, whatever you're feeling, or go with an intention that day. So you've got a problem that you want to solve, or there's something that's really bugging you. Put that intention, go for your walk, and just write down what's bubbling up for you. And that's a really good way of actually trying to get your writing and creativity more grounded, that you're not sitting at your desk worrying and being anxious. We really want to keep moving and keep in the body. I'm not sure how long I've had, but I think I've got 1 more minute maybe. So I'm going to just talk about keeping your creative center with all the negative opinions, all the craziness that's happening right now. And I think one of the best things to do is to understand that everybody has their own truth. And so you have to keep connected to what your truth is. And I think it's really important when you are trying to be more creative is to start the day with you. So don't start the day with the news or start the day by looking and seeing what someone else thinks. It's about starting off and thinking what you think, what you feel, how you, your intention for the day. And always keeping a pen. I think I had many tips now, I'm very sorry, but always keeping a pen and paper by your side or your notebook and making sure that as you go about your day that you are keeping your thoughts for you and making them important so that whatever comes into your mind, whatever creativity ideas, whatever happens in you that you think is important, that you're recording it, you're writing it down, and you're training yourself to think, my creativity is important, what I think is important, what I believe is important. And that helps you to connect to yourself so that you can retain a bit of center when the world is obviously trying to knock us off balance in these times. That's me. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Greta. Gosh, loads of tips. Thank you. I love that, starting the day with you. The tendency is, isn't it, just to switch on the phone, have a look, see what's going on in the world, and it's all such negativity. And when you're in that fear mindset, as you said, it's so difficult, isn't it, to be creative? It paralyzes you. It's just so hard, and then you have to make that very concerted effort to get out of the fear into the positive place again. So I love that, and also going for a walk, that always helps me. I always think when I'm walking, and ideas just pop into your head, and that physical exercise or that physical doing something, as you said, the chopping up the vegetables, it removes the limits that we put on ourselves, doesn't it, so that we can let those creative ideas flow. Thank you so much.